You know, every single night of your life, you go on this incredible journey. You become the star of a movie that your own brain is writing, directing, and producing, all in real time. We call it dreaming. And yeah, it's a universal human thing, but it is still one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in all of neuroscience. So tonight, let's play detective and try to figure out why we do it. First, just to get a sense of this scale here, think about this. If you live an average life, you will spend 6 full years of it dreaming. 6 years. That is a massive chunk of your existence spent in this totally different state of consciousness. So that's the million-dollar question, right? What is our brain actually doing for all that time? Is it just cleaning out the mental junk drawer, a bunch of random nonsense? Or is it maybe one of the most critical things your brain does every single day? People have been trying to crack this code for centuries. So, our investigation doesn't start in a high-tech lab. Nope, it starts on a couch. The very first people to take dreams seriously were the pioneers of psychoanalysis. They were convinced that dreams were a kind of secret language of the mind. And right away, you get two totally different takes from the two biggest names. For Sigmund Freud, it was all intensely personal. You know that dream you had about flying? That wasn't just about flying. For Freud, it was a hidden fulfillment of some deep, repressed wish. But then you have his student, Carl Jung, who thought dreams were tapping into something way bigger, a collective unconscious, this pool of symbols and myths that all of humanity shares. So for Freud, the dream was all about you. For Jung, it was about us. Okay, let's fast forward about 100 years. The investigation moves from the psychoanalyst couch and straight into the modern science lab. Now, with amazing tools like EEG and fMRI scans, scientists could literally watch the brain as it dreamed. And as you can imagine, this opened up a whole new world of theories. One of the first big scientific ideas comes from evolutionary psychology. It's called threat simulation theory. And the idea here is pretty cool. It's that your brain is basically a flight simulator. It cooks up these scary scenarios. You're being chased, you're falling, you're unprepared for a huge test. So you can practice your fight or flight responses, all from the safety of your own bed. It's practice for the real world. Then you've got the memory consolidation theory. This one paints your brain as this super diligent librarian working the night shift. All day long, you're collecting experiences, right? Well, at night, your brain sorts through that mess, decides what's important enough to keep, and then files it away into long-term memory. And your dreams? They're just you kind of overhearing this whole filing process going on in the background. But here's a wild thought. What if dreams have no purpose at all? That's the core idea behind the activation synthesis hypothesis. It says that during deep REM sleep, your brainstem is just firing off a bunch of random electrical signals. Your brain, being the meaning-making machine that it is, gets this blast of static and does its absolute best to weave it all into some kind of story. So the dream isn't the point. It's just your brain trying to make sense of biological noise. And believe me, the list keeps on going. Some theories say dreams help us regulate our emotions, like a form of overnight therapy. Others suggest they're a sandbox for creative problem solving. The main point here is there is no shortage of fascinating ideas. What there is a shortage of, though, is proof. And this is where our investigation gets really interesting. Because for every one of these neat, tidy theories that scientists come up with, dreams themselves throw up a bunch of puzzling clues that just don't quite fit. Okay, puzzle number 1. The narrative. If dreams are just random brain static or the byproduct of memory filing, then why do they so often have characters and a setting and even a plot? I mean, sure, they're bizarre stories, but they are stories, and that suggests a level of organization that random just can't explain. And then there's puzzle number 2, the amnesia. Seriously, think about this for a second. If dreams are so crucial for survival training or for locking in memories, why on earth do we forget almost all of them just minutes after we wake up? It's like going to the most important class of your life every single night and then having your memory of it completely wiped before you even have your coffee. It doesn't make sense. Now, this little tidbit from neuroscience helps explain why dreams are so weird to begin with. Brain scans show us that while you're dreaming, the part of your brain that handles logic and rational thinking, your prefrontal cortex, is basically offline. It's powered down. And that is why you can be having a serious conversation with a penguin in a library that's on the moon, and your dreaming brain just rolls with it, no questions asked. And maybe this is the most confusing clue of all, the non-dreamers. You've met them. Some people swear they never, ever dream. And while they probably do and just don't remember it, they seem totally fine. They don't show any negative cognitive or psychological effects. And that's a real problem for any theory that claims dreaming is this essential biological function that everyone needs.
So after sifting through all of this evidence, from Freud's theories all the way to modern fMRI scans, where does that leave our investigation? Well, the simple and maybe a little frustrating answer is that the case is still wide open.
I mean, just look at this chart. It really captures the whole problem perfectly. Threat simulation? Yeah, it explains why dreams can be bizarre and scary, but it doesn't explain the story part or why we forget them. Memory consolidation? Okay, that explains the amnesia, but not the weirdness or the narrative. And activation synthesis, the random noise theory, that explains the bizarreness and why we forget, but it totally fails to explain that story-like structure. See the problem? No single theory can explain all the pieces of the puzzle.
So the most likely answer probably isn't that one of these theories is right and all the others are wrong. The leading idea today is that dreaming isn't just for one thing, it's for many things. It's probably this complex cocktail of memory filing and emotional therapy and threat rehearsal and creative play, all stirred together and happening at the same time. And that kind of leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. Dreaming isn't some weird fringe activity. It's a fundamental part of who we are. The fact that we still don't fully understand something we all do every single night forces us to ask an even bigger question. If we can't figure that out, how confident can we really be in our understanding of consciousness itself?